In this video, we're going to go over using press releases. Now, press releases are great because your press release is going to show up on a lot of high authority sites like Google News, MSN, and the press release sites themselves. And again, it gets you a larger distribution of link variety, and it's a great tool to be using. Now, like I said, one of the great things is they increase your link diversity. So again, you're going to be showing up on all kinds of news sites, all sorts of services like Google News, MSN News, and you also get massive syndication because if you write a press release, there is a lot of sites who simply pick up all the new press releases and post them on your site. So your press release is going to be picked up by just a variety of different sites, and they're going to display your press release, and of course it'll have a link back to your site. So it's another great way to get links. And just as important of the links, again, it just gives you a wider diversity of where your links are showing up, and it's a lot more natural. Now with press releases, you have free and paid options. For free, I basically just use Fiverr.com. There's tools that will automatically submit your press release to all types of free press release sites. I don't really bother using the tools because again, you can go on Fiverr, pay somebody $5, and they'll take care of it for you. So you have the free option, and you do want to use those. I would submit a free press release. You can do it monthly. It's probably not necessary. A lot of those sites aren't going to be as great, but it is something you should at least do once, again, to get some more links out there. And I would, if you have the resources and the time, I would probably submit one once a month to the free ones, but not something that is required. However, I would suggest submitting a paid press release once a month, and there's a couple different sites you can use. My favorite is Webwire.com. Another great one is pressking.com, and a third is inewswire.com. And then, of course, the fourth is PRWeb, which is kind of the giant in the industry, and they charge you like a giant. Usually, if you want to submit a press release where you can put links in it and use anchor text, I think they run about $300. So and I would say that they have a lot more authority. But again, if you're just doing a niche site, it's really not necessary for that kind of price. If you're doing if you're creating a real large authority site that already gets a ton of traffic and is making you good money, then PRWeb is something I would definitely consider using once in a while. But for your average niche site, using Webwire, Pressking, and iNewsWire is just fine. Now, like I said, Webwire is my favorite. I've noticed the biggest distribution with them. But again, like I said, you want to be submitting a press release once a month. So what I would do is I would rotate through those. So the first month I would submit one to Webwire, the next month I would do a Pressking, and the following month I would do an iNewsWire, and then start over again, because they're all gonna, a lot of them will distribute your article or your press release to the same sites, but then it'll get picked up by a lot of different sites depending on each service. So I would be using all three of them just so you get the widest variety of websites picking up your link. So let's just jump over to the internet here, and here is Webwire, and you can see here they have their news release distribution, and they charge you $25 for that. They have a larger one, which is a web release, but kind of what they do is they guarantee you're going to get so many click-throughs and stuff like that. It's just not really worth it. The $25 one is just fine. You can see it'll go to Google News and Partners, MSN News, a lot of RSS recipients, and again, a lot of just random sites will pick it up because they kind of fill their site by automating their content by displaying press releases, which is just fine with us because it puts your link out on their site. So that is what I would use for Webwire. If we jump in here, kind of give you a look around, you have a headline. A couple things I should point out. I mean, most of these sites will walk you through it, but when you submit a press release, it needs to be newsworthy. So it isn't just simply an article about a topic. It has to have some kind of news. So when you first launch your site, or the first press release you make, you can say, the news release can be that you're launching this site, and that's plenty of newsworthy. Otherwise, you can piggyback off of recent headlines. If something just happened in the news and you can relate it to your site, You can do a press release about that. But you want to write your press release in a very informative way. You don't want it to be salesy. You want to write it kind of in the third person, so like a reporter is talking about your site. It's also a good idea to use quotes, so quote yourself. You can say so and so, the owner of the site, and then give a quote like that. You also display a summary, then you have the full release, and you can see they have the ability to pop links in there. They say up to 5 links. That's kind of overdoing it. Just putting probably 2 links in there is just fine. Then you have all your contact information and all of that. So they're pretty easy to do. Very similar to just submitting an article, but they do have a certain format. So let me just jump over here and just try to find one quick. I'll just look for a recent article. And that one's actually not quite formatted right. They aren't as strict about the formatting. None of these are really using the formatting that they usually require. Usually you'd want to start out with they have the date here. Usually you'd want the location and then the date, and then you go into your press release. Then you can see they put hyperlinks in here to their website. So again, you want to be using your keywords. Okay, so here's what they should look like. See how they have Englewood, Colorado, then they have the date, and then they go into their press release. They have their little overview up here, and you can see they're linking to their site. They're just linking with the actual URL. Again, we want to be using our keywords in there. But again, most of these sites will walk you through the proper format. But the proper format actually is to say the location and then the date, and then move into your article. Again, here's PR Web. You can see their prices are quite a bit higher. They do have an $89 release, but I do not believe that allows you to put hyperlinks with keywords in there. I think you have to go up to the more advanced ones. I just simply don't use them because the price just doesn't justify for a kind of a random niche site. And one other thing I want to show you, I had gone in to Webwire and grabbed one of their recent press releases, and I just popped the title into Google here, and you can see all these different sites that are actually picking this article up. So of course it's posted here on Webwire, which is a great high authority backlink to have. Then you can see this colorado.edu, so the University of Colorado actually picked it up. So they got an edu link. That's actually a great benefit. And then you can see some random site picked it up here. Plain cheap ticket. See, a lot of these sites will just basically fill their site with press releases. So again, they got a free link back. And you can see it's on TweetBuzz, and a lot of other places are just picking up the press release. So you do get some pretty good syndication. It'll actually result in quite a few links back to your site. So that is the paid version. Again, I would use Webwire. And then we also have Press King and iNewsWire. Once you submit one, they're pretty easy to get the handle on. For the free ones, if we jump over to Fiverr, and I'll just do a search for press release. And a lot of these people are writing a press release, which again, you can use Fiverr to do that as well. But here I will submit your press release content to 25 press release distribution sites for $5. So there you go. You just give them your press release and they'll go ahead and submit it out for you. Here's another one. They'll do 25. If you do a little searching around, you can actually find some gigs that will do a lot more sites. Let me try press release distribution. So this one will do 50 high PR news websites. Again, 25, 15. So that's basically all there is to that. You just write a press release, go on Fiverr, order a gig with a high rating, so a lot of positive feedback, and they'll go ahead and distribute it out to all the free press release distribution sites. And again, that's not something you need to be doing over and over again. I would do it at least once, and then maybe do it every couple months, or if you want to, go ahead and do it once a month. Again, it's going to expand your link diversity and also get you a lot of backlinks back to your site. As always, make sure you're using your keywords as your anchor text. And that is all there is to press releases. Again, the free or the paid ones, I would do them once a month, kind of rotating between them, and the free ones, do it once, and then you can kind of go ahead and go back and do it again as you want.